New York on Long Island, driving 1,000 to 2,000 miles a week for 7 years, going through snowstorm and blizzard all of upstate New York. In a 4-month period, I lost 50,000 customers. So when I don't cry when you lose one, don't take it personal. 2014 was as bad as it could get. I didn't want to go to Ambition. I dreaded being down there. Went from top of the world to as low as it could be in Ambient Energy. Got my teeth kicked in. Couldn't blame Chris and Jerry. It wasn't their fault. Stuff happens. It was just something that was out of control. I had a decision to make. Walk away or keep going. See, because at that point, I hadn't gotten to where I wanted to be in this business, and neither did a whole lot of people that bought into me and joined Ambit. So I kept going. As bad as 2014 was in Ambit Energy, 2015 was my biggest year. Because I made a decision that I could go out there and improvise, adapt, overcome. Have I ever seen the movie Heartbreak Ridge with Clint Eastwood? That's what we do in this business. You can sit around and make excuses and spend all of your time in the outer circle, or you can get focused on what you can control. And what I realize is I know how to build this business. I just got to start all over and go find some people who are all caught up in the polar vortex who aren't negative. And all of a sudden, I go up to Maine for the first time. Tim and Sonia Devine, I meet for the first time on February 12th of 2015. Now, why do I tell you that? Because on February 11th of 2015, John Haas drove from Massapequa, New York, to Lake Wallenpaupack, Pennsylvania, and then we drove down to Baltimore, Maryland, to go see Chris and Jerry. We had a team down there. That night, we drove back to my house in Pennsylvania, went to bed. The next day, we got up and we drove 7.5 hours to Portland, Maine. And when we got there, there was about 6.5 feet of snow there. And I met Tim and Sonia the first time. And I met Kayla for the first time. The reason I'm telling you this is, if you don't think there's going to come a time in your business where you think about quitting, you're wrong. You're going to have all kinds of challenges like that. And what I can tell you now, knowing what I know now, I would go through every one of them again. Without a doubt. Life is so good right now, and I don't want to sound like I'm boasting or bragging, but I love my life. I love where I'm at. I love the people I've surrounded myself with. And I think, what would have happened if I quit in September of 2014? What if the people, Jay and Teresa Sanborn and some of their leaders, would have not come into my life? And so, when you think about quit this business because of aggregation, or a lawsuit, or because of no gas, sit down and write an apology letter to your grandkids. Because it's not only about you, I get it. And I'm not downplaying that stuff, I get all that stuff. But if your area is not working well, go find people in other places. Where I live in Hot Dog, New York, we'll never have electricity out there. And guess what? As of a month ago, we'll never have gas out there anymore. I've got people that lost all 25 of their gas customers who have no more free gas. You know what I told them? You got two choices. You can quit, or you can adapt, overcome, and improvise. We can go figure out who do you know in New York City. Guys, those are the options. So if you're going through a bad time, I get it. Don't say you've never been there. I have. And I'm telling you right now, it's all worth it. Because when I look at the last week and some of the things that I've been able to watch, Caesar and Sonia Buffoni, got to see them get their yellow jackets. You know, we recognized them up at a Danbury training a couple weeks ago. I know Josephine, she's still here. Congratulations. So proud of these guys. Yellow jackets, national consultants just last week. The fact that they're on a 5-star trip, 8 years in between. How about this? This is the hot air balloon that I was able to go on with some incredible people last week. And how about the name of it? The bucket list. Woo! I think about the things that I would have not been able to experience, and the friends and the relationships I would have not have had because I let something get into my way. Some incredible people. There's Chad Crenshaw, one of my favorite people in Ambit. Really proud of Chad. And Coach and Leanne and Kirk and Trish. Now, a funny story is when we're getting ready to go, you see where Coach is standing? Right before we got ready to take off, see, I was smart here because I realized if I get in the middle and we hit the ground, I'm going to fall on Kirk and Coach. But what happened was they came over and they said, hey, this guy's got to move underneath here because of the heat. So I'm like, well, what do you mean? And so our instructor said, you got to move over here and you two need to move over here. So all of a sudden my butt's over here and I'm looking down and realizing I don't like this ride as much. And the funny thing is, we're getting ready to take off, and I start climbing out. I start doing one of these. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do it. And you're going to see the 12 faces, and I'm like, I'm only joking. I'm going. Now, when we got up there, you start looking down at 2,000 or 3,000 feet. It is interesting. I think about if I didn't meet Kayla, thanks to how this whole thing came about, the fun that we've been able to have, and things we've been able to do. That's Jerry Thompson, one of these right here, pushing the balloon up. So there's Chad and Jerry Thompson and Coach and Kurt Coran and Jay Sanborn having some fun. One of my best friends in the world. I had one of my ECs call me last week from upstate New York. He's been getting his butt kicked. I mean, between losing the gas market up there, between the lawsuit, between everything going on, he said, I want to talk to you about what's going on with Amdo. I'm like, oh man, if I have to hear this one more time, I'm like, what's up? He's like, I'm not going to complain. I said, why is that? He said, because I realize the value that I get out of this company is so far much more than what I've made. I said, what do you mean? He said, the relationship with Brian and you and Kayla and the mentoring and the fun and everything else like that. So things aren't going our way. You can't put a price tag on the friendships and the relationships. And guys, what I can tell you from being on this 5-star trip, the relationships are priceless. Ambit's paid me a lot of money, but I wouldn't do this for free, but just a little bit above it I would. Because you can't put a price tag on this. How about that? You know what it's like to watch the sunrise come up over the Arizona desert? And you know, the most fun I had is as we were doing this, that was Jerry and Carolyn's boom, I believe. But as we were flying over, there was a coyote down below us, and I got to bark like a dog and yell at it and was looking around, didn't know what was going on. It was a lot of fun. How about dreaming? So at the hotel we were at, there was this brand new Ferrari out in front of us. I said, Jake, go take a picture, show everybody in Maine your new car. But I think this next one might be my favorite. So we got to go out to Fogo de Chao one night, and we were hungry. And so they have these little green cards, and so when it's green, that means go, that means bring us food, and when it means red, stop. And so Coach wanted to make sure they saw him in the corner. Now guys, here's one of the things I'm most proud of, because we talk about the vision board, and I know some people think it's corny, but that's why I do this business. See, a lot of us, we sit down and we talk about our why. We'll throw something out there, something minor. We want to make a little extra money, or yeah, we want to be able to do something on a small scale. That wasn't me. When I got in Ambit, I had this vision board of what I wanted my life to look like. The kind of relationships, the kind of friends, the Tim and Sonia Devines, the Jay and Teresa Sanborns, the Coach and Leanne, the Brian and Betsy McClures. I knew the people that I wanted to surround myself with, the relationships I had with them. That was important to me. I knew the certain things that I wanted to do, the lifestyle, the house that I wanted. This is the day that I moved into my house up in New Hampshire, October 15th of 2015. This is my mom. This is my dog. Kayla took that picture. You can see the leaves in the background. My mom had 3 boys. We were all over 10 pounds when we were born. Ooh. My mom's not a big lady. Love her to death because she instilled the proper values in us about caring for other people and helping other people. One of the things that's great about building this business is what you're able to do for other people. See, I have some nice houses, but I don't do anything fancy. I don't spend a lot of money. I drive a Toyota 4Runner. It's 3 years old. I don't have a fancy car or fancy boat or anything like that. But I enjoy spending time with family and being able to do things. So my mom's birthday is May 8th. Okay, my mom's birthday is going to be May 8th. She's going to be 73 years old. She's had some health issues. So we're going to go back. We're going to be home for a couple weeks. And on May 2nd, we're going out to see my mom for her birthday. We're going to spend a week out in Draper, Utah. Now, growing up, my mom always had music on the house. My mom loves to clean the house and cook, and there was always music playing. And one of the things that my mom would always play would be the Eagles. One of my favorite bands, absolutely love their songs. And so when I was looking at that trip out to Utah, I noticed that at the arena where the Utah Jazz play at, on Thursday night, May 3rd, the Eagles are playing there. So I called up my mom and my stepdad and my brother and said, hey, me and Kayla are coming out. How would you guys like to go see the Eagles? And my mom said, honey, we would love to. But one of my neighbor's husbands is so mad at his wife because they were supposed to get tickets and it's sold out and nobody can get tickets. Well, I used to be in the ticket business, and so that's not a problem. And so I said, well, Mom, don't worry about the tickets. I'll get tickets. I just want to make sure your health is up to it, that you're going to feel comfortable going and watching a band for 3 or 4 hours. What do you think? You're going to have to rest a couple days before. She said, we go. I said, okay. And so I started to go online and go different sources for tickets, and I started looking at the tickets, and I started realizing that in order to take my mom, who's got some health issues, probably won't be able to stand the whole time. And so the problem is, if you take somebody who can't stand to a rock concert and people get excited and they stand the whole time, my mom's not going to be able to sing. So I had 2 options. I could stand over on the side of the stage where we could sit down but not sit on the floor, or I could find tickets in the front row. This way there's nobody between my mom and the band. And so because of what Brian's taught me, I was able to go online and buy 5 front row tickets for the Eagles. Now, my mom has no idea where we're sitting. In fact, when I told her that we're going to the Eagles, she said, well, honey, you let me know what we owe you for the tickets, and you and your dad will pay. I don't think my mom has any idea what we make it happen. Like I'm like, yeah, Mom, you owe me $39. And I said, so you guys buy the beers, that's the deal. So I can't wait, because on May 3rd, we're going to drive to the arena out in Utah. We're going to get out, and Kayla's going to videotape this. We're going to walk up to the front row. I'm going to take my mom to see the Eagles and sit in the front row for the Eagles concert.